Oh, welcome to my channel again. If you've subscribed, of course, you knew this was coming. Here we are with another, I hope, meaningful time for you from Living Abroad and Loving It. I live abroad and I love it. I enjoy living abroad. I enjoy the interaction with things I don't know and language I don't know enough yet. But today I want to talk to you about something that's a serious issue. And it came up not between me and my spouse, but several other people that we have known, this has been an issue for them. And I thought maybe since I am a certified prepare and enrich program, oh, I'm trained to do it, certified to do, I'll call it counseling. I'm not a psychologist, but I have been trained in resolving couple conflict and also in pre-marriage counseling for difficulties and for improving a relationship. Could be a marriage, can just be people that live together and love each other, but they want their relationship to improve. But today I thought maybe since I have heard of some people of this happening to them recently, they moved, one of the couples moved to Mexico, to the area where we used to live. And another of the couples moved here to Uruguay, where we now live. Okay. And they've been here a while. In fact, actually, I think the one couple in Mexico was there for a couple of years also. And the couple here has been for a couple of years, but they are splitting up. They don't want to be here, and one does and one doesn't. And so they're going, I don't know where they're going. I didn't investigate because it was just that I heard about it. But it's a real issue because a lot of times we don't know how each other is going to react. Okay? We don't know until we're in the middle of it. Partly because there's been no preparation, like I'm hoping I'm giving to you through these YouTube videos. But more than that, in general, couples don't just talk about a lot of stuff that's personal, like it's what I feel, it's where I'm at. And I know that I fall down. I don't always listen carefully to my spouse. I don't. Sometimes I even interrupt. And I don't want to do that. I don't like to be like that, and I'm working on it. So actually, I had a compliment that I was improving a little bit. But so I want to share some things with you, and one of them is the steps to resolving conflict. Now, this is because this is I'm dealing with this in. Uh, excuse me, my microphone fell over. That's not fair. It happens, however, as you can tell. But anyway, because this is a little bit different situation, I feel that I'm able to help you and to share some things with you because I have lived and do live abroad, and I work abroad, and this is where I am. If I travel abroad because I'm living that way. So I want you to know there are some steps to resolving conflict. The main conflicts come because one person cannot adjust to the culture that they've gone to. Okay. Most of the time, my experience has been people have a make believe idea. You remember we talked about, in the last video, we talked about, uh, how did I say, what the idea of a family oriented or a family centered country is, a culture that's family centered, but you're not part of the family. Okay. So it may be family centered, but you don't have family other than the family you brought with you, right? So if you're married or have a partner or whatever, that person is with you. If you have children, they are with you, and that's your family. But usually you don't speak the language. We have to learn the language. And so we aren't included in what would normally be considered family. We don't have any family here but us. Yeah? So when there are problems that arise, it's generally because there are things that have been irritating you ever since you arrived in your new country. And it may be that it's just a 2-lane road instead of a 4-lane road. And you have to drive it all the time and follow behind these stupid people that can't drive right. Right? I, I've had that feeling, as you can tell. But I worked on myself and I adjusted and I thought, you know what? I'm in a hurry and they're not. Get over it. And I did. So I don't have that problem anymore. But I did when I arrived in Mexico because we lived 20 kilometers. I don't know. I think that's like what, 15 or 16 miles from where we always wanted to shop. And it's a 2-lane highway. And if there's a slow truck, there's a slow truck and you'll go slow all the way in. And if there's road work on there, you'll sit there and wait. All that time you'll sit and wait. Now you can either adjust to that or you can have this feeling of, I don't want to put up with this anymore. This is not what I bargained for. Well, there's a lot of stuff when you move abroad, there's a lot of stuff you don't bargain for, okay? You don't bargain for the fact that you may have to hook up, if you're alone, it's even harder. If you're a single person, you might have to hook up your wash machine yourself. You might have to hook up your gas tank, the bottle of gas you buy that serves your kitchen stove or your water heater or whatever. So you might have to do those things yourself and you don't know how to do them. And it's just these little things and when you talk to the person that you assume loves you the most of all, and when you talk to each other, it's like this. It's like sparks flying. Well, why don't you just get over that? It doesn't bother me, you know. Well, it may not bother you, but that's not love speaking. That's ego speaking. And ego doesn't generally resolve conflict. Ego generally says, I'm right, you're wrong, get over it, and let's move forward. But the problem is that we can't really move forward because when something's hurting that much or is irritating that much, we get angry and we hold that anger or we blow it off on somebody, usually our family, because we speak English, right? So we don't speak whatever language is, Portuguese or Spanish or French or whatever. So we can only blow that anger off at each other. I want to share with you something that I learned from Life Innovations through the Prepare and Enrich program that I've been sharing with couples for since, oh my goodness, since like 1995 maybe. It works all the time. It's an option for you to try to come to some agreements, but it requires that both parties be willing to have some conversation, listening to each other. So I'm going to share this with you. I got my notes, right? Always have them. Oh, happened. Ah, there you go. You can see my notes. So there are 10 steps that we're going to look at. I'm going to look at them quickly. I'm not going to give you the whole thing. I figure mostly adults are watching my videos, but here is the way to do this. Okay. You set a time and a place for discussion, and you try to keep from being angry during this time. Okay. I mean, you try to don't set a time and say, I really got to talk to you. We got to take care of this. I can't stand this anymore. Now we got to take care of it. That's a poor way to start your conversation if you're trying to resolve conflict, right? Um, and then number two, you define the problem or issue of disagreement. And then you talk about how do you this is separate. Okay, you write this out yourself on a little piece of paper. You set time you set in your agenda, right? And you can write out what the problem is from your point of view. Whoever called for this meeting, okay, writes out what the issue is. Okay, then both of you talk, write out how do you each contribute to the problem, because no argument is ever only one-sided. It takes two. Even if you're talking with yourself and your counter self, it takes two to argue. That's just the way it is. And so you want to write, number one, set a time and place for discussion. Number two, define the problem or the issue of disagreement. How do you each contribute to the problem? List past attempts to resolve the issue that were not successful. Okay? Then brainstorm and list all possible solutions. What are the ways we might come together on this? And this requires that you really are in love with each other. Because if you don't care, I was going to say that. If you don't give about the other person, then this isn't going to work. And your marriage or your relationship is already pretty much down the wrong road. If you don't really care how they feel, that you're going to win, you're going to be right, you're going to do, then it's much harder that way. Okay. And no, I'm not going to be doing marriage counseling on this channel today and tell you, listen, let's talk. We can straighten this out. I'm not going to do that today. Today, I'm just offering you something you might be able to do, an activity you might be able to do together. So, brainstorm and list all possible solutions, um, including including maybe it's time for you to move on. If you don't have children, that's a possibility, but maybe it's time. Maybe it's time that you live separately. Maybe it's time that you find another way to live your life. I don't know. But if you love each other and you really wish you could come to a solution, let's continue. The next one, number 6, discuss and evaluate all of these possible solutions. Okay, you're going to evaluate them. Is there any solution here that you would be willing to try? Both of you would be willing to try? So that's number 7. Agree on one solution to try. And then agree how you're going to work on this solution. Each of you is going to work on this problem. Solution, I mean. Okay? So you have to come to an agreement. We think this might be a way to solve this. Let's work on it. I'll work on it from my side, and you work on it from your side, and evaluate, and then try the solution and agree on how each of you is going to work on that solution. Okay? Then you set up another time, another meeting together, and you discuss your progress and reward each other as you each contribute toward the solution. Now, of course, in this, I'm assuming, and this exercise assumes that you would really like to stay together. However, maybe you're in the wrong country, maybe you're in the wrong place, maybe you're in the wrong part of the United States or Canada, maybe you're in the wrong part of Turkey, maybe you're in the wrong part of Brazil, maybe there's a different place where you should move to that's a better situation for you. We, in fact, are discussing some of those kind of things ourselves. Maybe we should find another house or something, not separate, together. We're together. So we're not splitting. But these 10 steps, let me read them one more time, because this is all I'm going to cover today on this one. I want you to think about it if this is an issue for you, that you have things between you that are not resolved, and it's creating a break in your relationship, sadness, frustration, inability to cope. Okay, I just can't cope with this anymore. Okay, so here we go. Set a time and a place for the discussion. Define the problem or issue of disagreement. How do you each contribute to the problem? List past attempts to resolve the issue that were not successful. Brainstorm. List all possible solutions. 6, discuss and evaluate these possible solutions. 7, agree on one solution to try. Okay. Number 8, agree on how each of you are going to work toward this solution. What are you going to do? Number 9, set up another meeting and discuss your progress. Is the solution you're trying working for you, or is it causing more problems? And number 10, reward each other as you each contribute toward the solution. Sometimes the problem is that one part of a couple will share something that's bothering them, and the other part of the couple will blow it off. That doesn't help. You'll get over it. What's the matter with you? Just, it's the tone of voice, and it's the feeling that's sent. It isn't love. It's smack, a verbal smack. And so if that's how the issues between you have been being addressed, then it's time maybe for you to try something like this. Okay. Yeah. That's what I had to offer for you today on my channel. Okay. This YouTube video was hopefully to help you resolve some issues that are problems from having moved to another country, or maybe before you're going to. If I think at one time we may have made a mistake because one of us didn't speak up and the other of us, me, did. And we made a move to a place where about 3 months later, we returned back to our home because it really wasn't something the other person wanted to do that much. And you want to avoid that kind of thing. Now we've been together for 33 years. So we've had a lot of talks and a lot of what is the word here? Possible solutions, and a lot of solutions that have worked and some that we're still working on for things that go on. That's a healthy relationship. But if you've got yourself stuck in a situation where one of you is happy and the other is not happy because you're not happy and you haven't had a chance or a way to resolve it, it's time for you to do some resolving techniques. What I did think I should say something here. But, maybe I'll do that on another occasion. There's another really good short thing on active listening, and people, oh, I know active listening. Yeah, but do you use it? It's one thing to know it. It's another thing to use it, right? It's another thing to be actively saying, "Is this what I heard you say?" And sometimes we're afraid to do that. I know sometimes I am too. Did I hear you say this? Yeah. Oh, can we talk about that? Okay. So if you feel that way, then it's time for some active listening. So, and it's time for some steps for resolving whatever that conflict may be. So, I'm just sharing this with you because it's very useful information, especially when you're facing all of the stress. You're either getting rid of your goods in the United States or the country you're moving from, whatever place that may be. You're either getting rid of your stuff, you're storing your stuff, or you're packing it to ship. Um, Please don't pack to ship until you've gone to the country and seen if you want to stay there. Uh, it's a better idea, and you've resolved some of the issues that you will definitely run into. So here's Linda saying thank you for coming here and for joining me and being in this conversation together. I hope that's a helpful suggestion about that conflict resolution. Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.